story will be shown with various news in every country about slamation holes that occur everywhere. Therefore, there was a creature that was named the Reaper, which due to its appearance, 95% of humanity was eliminated and now only 5% remains. Uniquely, this Reaper only hunts human below a distance of 8,000 feet above sea level, so the survivors take cover in the mountains. 3 years later on the Rock Mountain, Colorado, at an altitude of 7,740 feet, 260 feet below the line, there was a little boy who was looking through the telescope. He was named Hunter. Hunter heard the sound of the Reaper and ran towards the hill line. After returning home, Hunter told his father about what had just happened. Will then scolded Hunter and advised his son not to do it again. She is Katie. She is Will's hunting buddy. He tells her that the hunter crossed the line. On his way home, Will passes by a neighbor named Nina. It is discovered that Nina often experiments with bullets that are shot into the skin of the Reaper in order to penetrate the skin of the Reaper, which is known to be very hard and does not work with any weapons, including tanks. In the evening, Will was shocked by Hunter's illness, so Hunter had to use an oxygen filter for his breathing. The problem is that the oxygen filter that Will has now run out, and to get it he has to take it from the nearest hospital, which is below 8,000 feet, so the Reaper definitely won't let him. The next morning, Will forgot about his problems for a moment and harvested potatoes, which he would barter with Hunter's favorite cheese macaroni because it was his birthday. Now Hunter's disease has recurred because there is no oxygen filter. Will is forced to use a sedative injection so he can relax for a moment. Will came to Nina to ask Nina for help. Because she was a scientist who had fought the Reaper directly, Will explained to Nina that he needed an oxygen filter and would go to the nearest hospital. The fact is that no bullet has managed to penetrate the Reaper's skin, which is why Will's invitation was rejected. Because he was annoyed, Will mention Nina's problem related to the death of his wife, which turned out to be that Nina and Will's late wife were both researchers who had fought against rapists. But Will's friend and wife had to die because of one incident, and only Nina was left. Will entrusts the hunter to his neighbor. In the morning, Will picks up a gun at the gun shop. Kate appears and insists on joining. All the guns are free as long as they are for the benefit of fighting the Reapers. Nina tells them that she found a device to detect Reapers with a compass that has been modified. The Reaper emits magnetic waves that are greater than the poles, so this helps them guard against Reaper from a distance of 800 meters. A few minutes after walking out of the line, they found traces of military battles against Reaper intending to look for objects that they could use. Nina found Reaper scales that she was carrying. Nina asked to spend a little longer in this location for a little research, but Kate forbade it so that a dispute broke out by Will. In the forest, they were surprised to find so many horse colonies that it was revealed that the Reapers only targeted humans and not other animals. In 15 to 20 minutes, they will arrive at the next 8,000-foot line, but Nina with her detector finds that there is high magnetic activity, which is definitely a Reaper. Sure enough, in the distance, a Reaper appeared who was preparing to bulldoze them. Will invited everyone to use the elevator, but Katie instead ran and thought running would soon get there faster. Will also tried to turn on the elevator. Katie shot the Reaper with an explosive bullet. But the thickness of the Reaper's scales was so thick that it had no effect at all. Will and Nina got on the elevator to get to the line faster. Katie was forced to come to, which made her climb up and jump towards the two of them. Fortunately, Will managed to grab her, but Reaper had the cleverness of Reaper pulling the cable, so the cable broke, and they all fell. Luckily, they managed to cross the line that the Reaper didn't want to cross. In the evening, they exchanged stories with each other with the fact that made them confused. Namely, why the Reapers only target humans. Is it the work of the global elite, or maybe aliens who want to rule the Earth? And currently, there are no weapons or any tool to penetrate the Reaper's skin. The next morning, they had to go through a tunnel to reach the hospital. Initially, Nana refused because at the beginning of the agreement, they would not tell them that they had to enter the tunnel. Nana was worried that somehow the tunnel would lead down 8,000 feet so that the Reaper could catch them. Because they didn't want to waste time and the hunters only had at least 5 days without an oxygen filter, they continued their journey, but the tunnel door was already closed. The only way was for them to find another way. They argued because they were afraid that when they went down below 8,000 feet, they went down to. A strange sound was heard which made them speechless. The compass made by Nana in this tunnel was not accurate, so they couldn't tell whether it was a Reaper or not. Sure enough, it was a Reaper. They were hiding in a narrow gap that the Reaper couldn't possibly enter, but the Reaper inserted his sensor into the gap, which made them have to hold their breath. They couldn't continue like that. They would use talons to divert their attention. Katie found another loophole and executed it, but who would have thought that outside the Reaper had been waiting for Katie, causing her to be killed by the Reaper?
She's gone.
Nana found a ladder for them to climb up. Now only Nana and Will continue the journey. They decided to spend the night and stay at the house. They were a little sad about the loss of their friend, but dwelling on sadness was not good. In the morning, they crossed the line to get to the hospital. They found the hospital abandoned and started searching for oxygen filters, realizing that they had to hurry so that the Reaper wouldn't find out. But Nina's compass reacted, which indicated that the Reaper within 800 meters was approaching them. Luckily, Will found what they were looking for and ran away. On the way, Reaper's claws penetrated the wall, which almost hurt Will. They rushed to the top floor, but Reaper still followed them. Will had one idea: tell Nina to go up the stairs and he would wait for the Reaper to appear and shoot a gas canister which would make the Reaper bounce and make him immobile. Will tells Nina that they should hurry home because their goal has now been achieved, but Nina has another idea, namely that they will go to the laboratory and test the Reaper scales so that Nina can penetrate their very, very strong skin. Arriving at the laboratory, Nina deftly took the chemicals she needed to combine with gun bullets. Will finds a photo that is revealed to be actually Nina. Nina was a scientist in the government who used to have a family, but they all died by the Reaper. Nina also tested the results of her research, but they were still the same. The strong Reaper skin still cannot be penetrated. Nina also told Will to go home because she had a hunter who needed an oxygen filter, while Nina would stay and test everything she knew. Until Nina didn't realize that her compass was moving, indicating that there was a Reaper nearby, but she remained focused. On the way, Will's car experienced a problem that caused the car to overturn, leaving him unconscious. When Will woke up, he immediately grabbed his weapon and ran towards the line, followed by the reporters. A little further towards the line, Will was surprised by the appearance of the Reaper in front of him. He fired a shot at the Reaper, but it still had no effect. What made her despair was that when the Reaper was defeated and exploded, apparently Nana managed to find research that could penetrate the very hard skin of the Reaper. Not only one, but now Nina can defeat 3 Reapers. The fact is that Reapers are robots that might be programmed to destroy humanity. This is the beginning of humanity taking back the Earth. After being colonized for so long by Reapers, humanity began to mass produce these creations and succeeded in taking back to Earth. And the story will show 3 stars who may be a new threat to humanity.